Merry Christmas, fellow old schoolers. Let's get ready for some more old school magic here on this 24th of December. Just thought I'd bring this one out in the holidays. It is the final match of this mini-series between between Skynet, one of my decks on the channel, and Rook and Burn. And let's go over the decks real quick here. And I've put down a timestamp here if you just want to skip these and go for the first match. Go to this particular timestamp. This is the Rook and Burn deck, and it resembles Burnham quite a bit here, having a green and red core with a bunch of small green critters like 4 script sprites and a couple of Agodian pixies. There's a couple of berserks and a couple of giant growths, and then we have a Sylvan library and a regrowth, and then supplemented with a full burn package with 4 lightning bolts, 4 chain lightnings, a fireball, and a disintegrate. And then it has a fork as a one-off, just to, I don't know, it can be pretty fun to fork the other guy's power, and you can also use this to fork your own burn. No Wheel of Fortune though, that's very rarely seen. I suppose this deck just want to kill the other guy with its opening hand. It has a lot of so-called soft card advantage because it has so many creatures and so much burn and a very low mana curve. The third color of this deck is blue, so it has switched out the Unumgens and taken in 4 Serenity Befriets. There's also a couple of Flying Men, and it supplements the burn package with a full playset of Sonic Blasts just on top of all the other burn spells. So it makes the mana curve even lower than the Burnham because there are no Unumgens, and there's a heck of a lot of flyers in this deck that can just fly over the other guy and the other guy's blockers and do damage with that. It also has a single cheeky power sink in there just to, I don't know, surprise the opponent, perhaps block a removal spell. And it actually splashes white as well for a couple of disenchants, using those 4 Cities of Brass to cast those. It's very nice to get rid of an Abyss or a City in a Bottle with this. So yeah, it makes sense, right? What immediately springs to mind as well with this deck is there's a bunch of 2-offs, so it has a very diverse way of play. With just a couple of disenchants, a couple of giant growth, a couple of berserks, only 2 Agodian pixies, and only a couple of Elvis archers, and a couple of flying men. Many of these cards will usually be in like a 4-off in a Burnham deck, but this deck has opted for a more diverse palette, I suppose, where you can hit the other guy from different angles. It's coming up against Skynet. Now, Skynet has a lot to avenge here, as the Rook and Burn has taken out its sibling Composition A. Skynet is fully powered, and it's more or less a robot deck that takes its name from all these robots and production facilities with the workshop and factories, and in combination with usually Armageddons. We don't see any Armageddons in this iteration. Instead, we have the Nuclear Winter with 3 Icy Manipulators and Winter Orbs. Now, the theme of this deck will be to cast these robots as a mid-range deck with Triskelions and Tetravus, freeze the other guy's blockers with Icy Manipulators, or tap his lands, use the Winter Orb to keep him in check. And Skynet will be less bothered by this Nuclear Winter because it uses all those Moxen and Felver stones. There will be a lot of dead draws in this matchup for Skynet because it makes use of 4 Disenchants and a Dust to Dust just to crack the other guy's power or Moxen away, so that those Winters will be more bothersome. But yeah, his opponent here, there aren't that many artifacts, or I don't think there's any more than a single Sol Ring. I'm not even sure that the Rook and Burn plays with factories. I don't think it did. It's very original. Skynet does have some aces in its sleeve though. It has a City in a Bottle main deck, and that would be brutal against a deck with so many Arabian Night cards as the Rook and Burn has. And it also makes use of the Abyss with this tried and true combination where you only use copy artifacts and artifact creatures yourself to do the damage, and the Abyss will destroy any non-artifact creature each turn. So if we can get one of those out, it will be brutal against the Rook and Burn. Then it has obviously a single mana drain just to power out some more artifacts, and the blue power cards and the Brain Geyser. So a mid-range in combination with a present deck. Let's get ready for this matchup. Round number 1 here, with Skynet on the right on that Electric Eels playmat. Just having a roll off here. And Rook and Burn taking a mulligan here. He only had a single Savannah in hand, so that wasn't enough as a keeper. I only rolled a 1 for the roll off, so I bet Rook and Burn is on the play here. Let's cut a bit forward while he shuffles his deck. Okay, Giant Growth, Sol Ring, Savannah as well. That's a keeper, I think. Getting a Sol Ring in his opening hand is very good for him. Okay, getting rid of the Giant Growth here. Here's my hand. Library of Alexandria, Disenchant, and the rest is mana with a Factory and a Mox as well. It is a bit of a dilemma to keep. Here's his hand. As said, Tiger, Sol Ring, Sonic Blast, Elvis Archer, Sandy Ifrit, and a Savannah. He needs a blue mana to get that Ifrit out. But that Sol Ring is pretty nice. I'm keeping the hand with the Library of Alexandria, just banking on drawing into something here. At least I'm on the draw, and that's an advantage, but really mana flooded here. Okay, he drew into a City of Brass, getting a Sandy Ifrit out turn 2 then. And remember, there's only lands in my hand. Getting the Factory out. I guess I drew into a Sol Ring and a Sushi. Okay, so just need to write that library. So he attacks here, flying over the Sushi, doing 3 points of damage. Probably okay, he drew into an Disenchant here. And then for the final colorless mana, he taps the Tiger for green mana, puts down a Elvis Archer. He has his Sonic Blast in hand as well, and his City of Brass to cast it. Okay, we do have the Factory though to block the Elvis Archer, and it doesn't have Summoning Sickness. Okay, just ignoring, ignoring the library range for now. Need to commit here. There's so much pressure on the board. Disenchanting his Sol Ring. I don't know if there's Unamgens coming out here, so need to keep him in check. Oh, and he Sonic Blasts the Sushi here. Does take 3 points of damage though, coming over 5 points of damage, and there's a Strip Mine. So good thing that I didn't keep back with the library. He would just strip it now and I wouldn't have anything. But so far he has been able to remove every threat I've put out with a Disenchant and a Sonic Blast. Second Factory coming down here. Though he can Strip Mine those as well. Goes down to 13 points of life. Seems like I'm keeping back with the Factories just in order to block. Okay, so he Strip Mines his Scrubland, probably to crack me out of white mana. That makes sense. So he attacks with this Archer. Has a single card in hand, so I'm calling his bluff at this point. Tapping myself. Okay, he loses his Elvis Archer. He probably wanted to test. Oh, another Sandy Ifrit here. Wanted to test if I would just let it in, but I have 2 Factories now. So yeah, he's cracked me out of white mana. I only have access to colorless mana at this point. Strip Mine coming down. What to pick here? Taking down his Tiger. Probably doing this to crack him out of his burn. He still has his City of Brass. It could have been another viable target, but I want to pressure his life total here. If he uses that City of Brass, he'll take damage. He takes 2 damage each turn from the Sandy Ifrit, and I can counterattack for 4. That's 6 points of damage each turn on him if he taps out. So by keeping the City of Brass, I'm hoping to pressure his life total further. Oh, but he attacks and then he berserks the Sandy Ifrit. That's 9 points of damage. Is barely enough. I drew into Assault and just Recall next time. Only a Black Lotus and an Underground Sea in hand. So just made it work here. 9 points of damage. Rook and Burn takes the first one. It's pretty damn impressive, but I was a mana flooded here. This is round number 2. We have no sideboard for Skynet, so he doesn't use sideboard either. This evening I hadn't made it yet. Here's my hand. Completely mana flooded again. Factory, Mox, and yeah, it's not good. I think I'm keeping it because just want to draw into some more. There's not a fast mana, so I just need to draw into some other some stuff here. I need to get the men out quickly in order to survive. He mulligans again though. His opening hand is so important, as he doesn't have any draw engine going, but he does have that soft card advantage I mentioned in the deck text. Here's his hand: Flying Men, Elvis Archer, Golden Pixies, and a strip mine and mana enough to cast them. Flying Men coming out turn 1 here, and he can strip mine my factory. Another factory coming down, activating the factory, pumping it, 3 points of damage. Yeah, might as well. I can't even block it. The rest of the hand is a Library of Alexandria I drew into, and then just a lot of lands. It's insane mana flooding here. A Golden Pixies coming out from him. But yeah, as mentioned, his soft card advantage will mean that he will tend to draw into a lot of creatures and burn, because his mana curve is so low. He doesn't have a lot of lands in his deck. Strip mine, flying over with the Flying Man for a single poke, and then an Elvis Archer each turn as another critter coming out. Third factory here. My ground army is impressive, but he can fly over them, and actually the Golden Pixies can block a factory and not take any damage from it. And I need to keep a factory back to block it. His Elvis Archer can block another with first strike, so I guess I can attack with 2 and then pump it. But if I do, he can counterattack for 5, and I have to survive the early game against him. That's becoming apparent, so I'm just keeping back here just to keep his Elvis Archer back. If he attacks with the Golden Pixies, I can't block him, but then I can counterattack. Okay, then he bolts me after the attack. I'm down to 14 points of life already. Another mana source coming out. Okay, Sushi. Where are those damn Triskelions? They would be great here, just to shoot down the Elvis Archer and the Flying Men. Flying over again here, and that's another Serendipity Freed. Another flyer. Okay, Ancestral Recall. Lucky draw here. Let's see if we can put some gasoline on the engine here and get Skynet up and running. Another Underground Sea, tapping that and the Mox. Winter Orb, yeah, he is tapped out, but so am I. I'm not sure about that play. Sushi coming down. I'm not sure about that Winter Orb play. I do have a lot of Moxen, 2 Moxen, but I mean, I need my factories as well. I think that's a misplay actually. Perhaps being a bit flustered here. And he doesn't even play with the factories. It's really fun. Okay, coming over for 4 points of damage here. I'm down to 9. 2 Sushis though. But remember that Golden Pixies can block an artifact creature and not take any damage, so he will take one of them out. And then he attack. Okay, drawing a card, untapping the Moxen. Yeah, now I can attack. One Sushi wouldn't make any sense really, because he'll just block it with the Golden Pixies. Yeah, okay, so I'm attacking with both Sushis here. So obviously he will likely just block one of them with the Golden Pixies, as he does here. Yep. I wonder what if he'll sacrifice Elvis Archer, just take it. He just takes it. Okay, being down to 12 points of life now. Keeping the other 2 factories back against him, just to block his Elvis Archer, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, I can't even stop the Golden Pixies from coming in. So it's actually an attack for 6 here I can't block. I can only... Oh yeah, I'm keeping the 2 factories back. I was just wondering, because he can strip mine one of the factories and then attack with the Elvis Archer as well. And perhaps remove that with a disenchant or something. Okay, coming over with the flyers. Next turn I'll be dead. Because he'll do 4 points of damage with the flyers, and he can get in with the Golden Pixies as well. And I don't have a non-artifact creature in the deck, so I'll never be able to block that. I need a Triskelion or something here, and even then I'm not really sure what to do. Okay, considering a last hurrah here, he is down to 11 points of life and will take a point of damage in his upkeep. I can attack for 10, so it will kill him if he lets it in. But he has 2 blockers. I suppose I could attack with everything here. 3 factories, 2 Sushis. it won't be enough. He'll block a sushi with the Agothian Pixies. He can block the other sushi with the Elvis Archer if he wants to. Really thinking how to get out of this pickle. Just assembling the army. Okay. Seems like I'm attacking with 2 sushis and 2 factories here. Keeping the last one in back as a blocker, or just to pump one of them. Perhaps in case that he will block it with an Elvis Archer or an Agothian Pixies, I can pump it into a 3-3. Okay, here we go. Okay, so he's counting them up here. Okay, he has a response before I attack. As I go into my attack phase, okay, he strip mines the untapped factory. As a response to that, I pump one of my attacking factories with it. And then I attack with the pump factory and 2 of the sushis here, keeping the winter factory back for a second pump, it seems. Okay, so only 3 attackers now. So he blocks one of them with the Agothian Pixies, likely a sushi. And then takes the rest, going down to 4 points of damage here. Really risky. Okay, then I'm playing a sushi with the copy artifact, I think. Tapping out for that. Yeah, but I mean, really risky for him. It could have been a Sonic Blast. He doesn't know if I play with them. Going down to 3 life here. And then he comes over. Everything. I can't block the Agothian Pixies. Oh, he has a fork in hand. Okay, so if I try to Sonic Blast him, he'd just fork me and kill me with that. So Rook and Burn takes the second one. Yeah, so 2-0 the second time in a row. That is really interesting. No Wheel of Fortune, not a single miss for Factory, and no power. And just crushing my tournament decks here. Really, it's an archetype I've never met before. So yeah, very, very nice. And in the previous match, someone mentioned that that's one of the cool things about old school, that it isn't really solved. You can make a heck of a lot of very efficient decks without power as well, and apparently even without factories. I thought that a 4 of factories would be included in almost every deck, or any deck you can think of, but not this one. And by not having power, he has a lot of room for his burn and his creatures, so just a very focused deck, this one. Not even having room for a single Wheel of Fortune. It's all burn and fork. The only other thing is a Sylvan Library. Everything else is just focused damage dealing, and Skynet just couldn't keep up in this battle. So I can't wait to meet these guys again. I will try to tweak the decks a bit and see if I have any more luck against the Rook and Burn here. And I know that the 5-color Unarmageddon will also tweak his deck, obviously, and as will everyone here. So yeah, Merry Christmas everyone. Next up, I'll be back with some 7-point singleton that's been sent to me from other playgroups in other countries. So there's that to look forward to. For now, this is me signing off. I'll catch you in the next one.